Hey, Coach, I guess getting to the rim and the free throw line is usually a pretty good recipe for success, but 15 missed layups and 13 missed free throws tonight. How frustrating was it to have the volume that you did without the results? And what do you think led to some of the struggles there?
Well, obviously, it's really frustrating. We can't miss that many foul shots, and then the thing that's the most amazing is Anthony Black went 13 of 16 from the foul line. So if you look at the rest of the team, um, but Curtis, the only thing I know is you got to get in the gym on your own. That's something that's been part of our culture. Guys working relentlessly on their game outside of practice. That's got to improve for sure. We have some guys that need to share the basketball a little bit more from an offensive standpoint because we are struggling to score the ball, and everybody knows it. I mean, the 3-point shooting, you're not just going to miraculously wake up and all of a sudden become a great 3-point shooting team. So you've got to figure out other ways to try to put points on the board. But I thought Anthony Black was absolutely spectacular offensively, and we didn't have much else besides that.
And speaking of finding other ways to put points on the board, only 8 turnovers forced tonight. I know that you guys have really thrived on fueling the transition offense by generating turnovers. How important is it to get that number a little bit higher than it was while there's some struggles in the half court offensively?
I mean, the defensive game plan has not changed other than the execution by some of our guys. We had 4 steals tonight, and 2 of them were by our power forward center, Kamani Johnson. So that kind of tells you what our perimeters did from a defensive creating turnovers standpoint. Not much at all. You can't play 35, 36 minutes and not have a steal in our system. So, and we're struggling shooting and inexperience and winning on the road is problematic for this group as well. And getting off to first half starts been pretty problematic as well.
Coach.
Coach, you mentioned Anthony Black there. It seemed like he took over in the second half. Was that something you addressed with him at halftime, or just kind of something he took with the flow of the game?
No, I think a little bit of both. He was the guy that the atmosphere didn't affect him, and I thought he, when he saw that we weren't getting much, he took it upon himself to be way more aggressive offensively. We needed him to. I thought that the first half foul trouble really threw us off. But again, I mean, there's no excuse. You take 2 really talented players off of any team in the country, 2 players like Brazil and Nick Smith. I mean, it's we got to figure out how to play better basketball.
You mentioned that the atmosphere didn't seem to affect Anthony, but did you feel like it maybe impacted the rest of the team? Especially in that first half, getting off to that slow start.
I don't know, Hutch. I mean, I guess that there's plenty of you guys on here that probably watched it on TV, and that would have to be your opinion. I haven't gone back and watched the film. I'm emotionally into the game and trying to figure out what play calls and how our defensive coverages are. So that would be up to you guys to determine if some guys were didn't play like they do at home.
Scotty?
Yeah, Eric, not putting the onus all on Ricky, but he had a 5 for 15 tonight. I'm just curious if you're seeing anything, just the way that he's being defended, to this point in SEC players at shot selection, or what are you seeing?
We're playing against better talent. I mean, you're going up against some length and you're going up against some of the best defensive teams in the country. Alabama's coming. Look at their defensive numbers. So, we've talked to our team about trying to be better cutters instead of just dribbling the ball. You got to cut. DC Tony is one of the best cutters in the country. Moses Moody was a great cutter for us. Justin Smith was a great cutter for us. Jimmy Witt was a great cutter. You got to move without the ball and figure out how to score across the board. We're not getting as many basket cuts as we have in the past. We're doing the same drills. So you got to figure out when your shot's not falling how to get some easy baskets off reading the defense.
And what were your impressions of Janai Broom? I think he had a double-double and 6 blocks too.
I thought he played really good basketball, but I also thought Kai did a good job guarding him one-on-one. I don't have their stats in front of me, but I think he averages 10 and 8, and he had 10 and 10. So, he took 12 shots to get 10 points. I thought Makai did a really good job on him. Obviously, he's one of the best shot blockers in the country. And he did a great job protecting the rim for them for sure.
Bob?
Yeah, but he actually averages over 13, so you guys held him a little under his average. But, Alan Flanagan's a Little Rock kid. He always gets hyped up to play the Hogs, 18 and 8 off the bench. What'd you think of his game?
Yeah, I thought he played great. I thought 2 years ago he was, right on the verge of being an NBA draft pick. I'm not surprised at all that he played really well. I think he's a really hard cover. He can play the 2, 3, 4. I know a couple of years ago they even played him at some 1. In my opinion, he's as tough a one-on-one cover as there is. His jump shot tonight, he rose over our guys. He's got a good mid-range game. He's got a post-up game. He's a good cutter. I know that our coaching staff's got incredible respect for him. And he played really well tonight.
And they had a 4-point play, I guess was green, 15 seconds in. And I know you guys cut it back to 2 a few times. How tough is that when they open like that and then they were ahead virtually the whole game? You're playing catch up the whole game.
Yeah, the 4-point plays, I don't know if I've ever been a part of a game that started that way. Devo picked up 2 really quick fouls. Our most experienced player on the team. And your -2 starters, he picks up 2 fouls. You saw the results.
And then you mentioned Alabama's coming. You have to play a 3rd straight ranked team. They just destroyed Kentucky. You probably watched the game. But how tough is this stretch you're in right now, and how do you think you guys will bounce back? Obviously, you get to be at home at least.
We can look at this stretch. We can look at the end of the year when we go at Alabama and at Tennessee. Until we figure out how to play better on the road, how to play more composed. Every game's tough. So I don't look at this stretch any different than any other stretch we have. You could pick any 3-game segment in the league, and the way the league is, it's challenging.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Eric.